What's up, tribe? Thank you for being here and welcome to my channel. Today's post is titled Trauma, and Matias starts it by commenting on yesterday's post, Process, so I'd recommend you watch that first in order to better understand this. That being said, let's get started. Me, you explained yesterday that the life process is like going through the digestive system of reality. We will understand the process we are in if we look at the site of the digestion where we are. I am. That's right. You are the energy of the universe, constituted as a physical body, which from the point of view of life, you are a food that begins its way through the lips, just like the vaginal lips where a baby's born. The lips of the mouth are what lead that baby to the path of life. From the first food, the body is predisposed to understand that everything you eat will make it what it is, will make it reborn day after day, multiplying its cells and regenerating old ones. Imagine then that the lips and the tongue, the father and the mother, caress your body as you enter life. The mouth, the creative uterus. There, your essence is processed, being divided by the force of your ancestors. The teeth, your entire family tree, and genetic load make the real being divided into chakras. And from chakras to organs, glands, muscles, bones, creating many aspects that will compose you. And that no matter how united they are different aspects molded by the force of ancestral biology. Each tooth in each bite will give you a new shape. You may see it as something terrifying, but in reality, it is what allows you to see what you have inside, your potential. To digest or process information is to separate it into parts to understand what can be done with each one of them. Life is a mechanism of spiritual digestion in which a being that is everything has the possibility of dividing itself in order to understand the usefulness of its parts. So the ancestors and relatives will mold and divide your being so that you can use every little aspect of it. Me. Yes, it is a somewhat traumatizing vision to see it from that way. It is as if the family and the environment chewed us up. It's like a nightmare. I am. And yet, if you don't chew, you don't eat, and you die. The pressure of the teeth is equivalent to the pressure of the ancestors. The tension generated by history, the ancestors and fangs will cut, separating us from the whole, becoming an individual with a personality with which we will face the world. The mandates of the father and mother in that person are what will shape this piece of life that I am. Then your willingness to learn, to do, your position in society, culture, school, friends, work, ancestral mandates, each tooth and molar will put pressure on you that will shape who you are. And many of those pressures you will call traumas. They usually arise in the process of formation, When the world exerts more pressure on you because it is forming you, shaping your matter to be digested. Trauma comes from the Greek word wound, that is to say, the cuts, blows, bites that we receive in our history. When you bite into an apple, it is causing a huge wound, and every bite you take to turn it into a food bolus is a new wound. Each cry, challenge, punishment, scream, judgment, criticism, abuse, mandate, control, crisis, manipulation, inheritance, all of this molds your being to the point of separating your essence so much that it stops your being in your center to be part of your emotions, attitudes, hands, feet, organs. Surely you see this process as something painful and absurd, but it has a meaning. Me. Which one? I am. If you have a 2-year-old child and you want to teach him everything in the world so that he can do it, what do you propose? Me. Well, pedagogically, you have to generate a free environment where you can experiment and discover. I am. Through what mechanism? Me. Trial and error. This way it is better assimilated. I am. So you will pedagogically choose for the child to suffer. Me. Well, it is not that she suffers. It is that she learns through her own actions. I am. That is to say, that you are against us making him swallow an encyclopedia with the mash, not? Me. What a strange image. I am. Or maybe. Operate it and put a universal encyclopedia inside it, so that it has all the keys to knowledge. That wouldn't work, right? Me. No. Because knowledge must be assimilated by all types of intelligences, of being, emotional, mental, creative, all of them. And for that, it needs to experiment. Only in this way can a data be assimilated biologically and wisdom awakened. I am. That is to say that frustration, pain, and crying are part of your pedagogy. Me. You could say, not provoked, but allowing the child to make her mistakes to discern. I am. Why should life and the universe be different? Be different. Me. I am. The universe is like a I am. I am. The universe is like a great educator who advises free will as a way of learning through trial and error. The pain, the wound, the crying, the crisis, the frustration, the pain, the wound, the crying, the crisis, the frustration are part of the assimilation process. Believing that a universe that was designed to learn and expand should be fair in the sense that it should not allow a person to suffer or experience injustice is the mentality of a dictator who considers, according to his beliefs, what is right and what is wrong, without discernment. clever of your own creations. When you say that the universe is unfair to allow the suffering that causes so much trauma, you forget that you learned to ride a bicycle because you fell several times trying. Even DNA has its mistakes, called mutations, which make us who we are. Me, are you saying that traumas have evolved us? I am. Wounds make you stronger. The problem with humans is that they moralize everything according to their beliefs. It is unfair that the universe allows suffering, but it is educational to punish a child when he misbehaves. It is unfair that there is hunger in the world, but it is normal to send a child to his room without dinner for having said something that was not appropriate. It is natural to think that a child learns by mistakes, tantrums, and falls, but they are horrified when there is a national crisis. When there is a national crisis, blaming others. What is it that prevents you from seeing that little things that you accept naturally are the foundations of the great things that you judge with ease? Me. I think it is because of the need for survival that we've talked about many times. It is easier to judge what I cannot control because what I can control makes me responsible and guilty at the same time. And the brain prefers to deny it in order to remain comfortable and not risk its safety. I am, exactly. Now, what has been said has to help us understand the following steps. The food bolus is directed down to the esophagus, the personal path of life. I am, exactly. Now, I am, exactly. Now, what has been said has to help us understand the following steps. The food bolus is directed down the esophagus, the personal path of life, in which I am directed towards an inevitable destiny driven by the command of the parents in the language. Until when I reach the world, wide in the stomach, I realize that everything is much broader, that there is no only destination, but that I can become whatever I want. Thus, the strong assets of life, cultures, travel, the people around me, society, beliefs, everything begins to destroy my mandates, creating their own breaking down of who I am. Here I begin the process of understanding that things are not what I believed, and I begin to analyze the world around me until I realize that this world that I perceive and dissolve me, it is actually my inner perception, and I am hitting my own way into the inner world, the small intestines. This is when I understand the essence of each of my components, but no longer as the essence, but transformed. Because along the way, the essence made reactions that awakened potentials that I would never have seen otherwise. The intestines begin to absorb all the essentials: surrender, forgiveness, letting go, liberation, healing arrives. Thus, on this long 9-meter path, I am about to understand the logic and purpose of each of my traumas, of my injuries, of what my ancestors did to me, gave me, and what I accepted. Each bite of the dental family and each decomposition of my being by the stomach world have allowed that today I can see the true essence and potential of my interior. Me, the trauma makes sense, although it is difficult for us to understand many times such painful things as abuse, rape, murder, beatings, and so many horrible things that happen in life. I am. They are what you see as the shit in the world. We have talked about this. The evil of the world are all those pieces that have not opened up to give up their essence to expand in freedom. And they cling to what they believe and to the personality closing, hardening to the point where none of its parts is integrated. And thus they pass to the large intestines to be under greater pressure, creating the fecal bolus that is the poop. The word caca comes from the Greek kakos, meaning bad. The bad smells bad to us, and this is a natural and biological reaction of our evolution that has helped us to survive without getting intoxicated, making us perceive what is poisonous or harmful to the organism as something smelly and that disgusts us. Strong smell or stink is the origin of the word shit, from the Proto-Slavic smord, me. So we use these derogatory words when referring to people or situations that hurt us, that have caused us injuries, such as bad person, shitty person, or people. This smells bad, all with an organic sense of survival. I am. This is how a person becomes bad, when he closes to awaken his potential. The good thing is that in the universe, the poop will serve to nourish the plants, which will flourish and produce fruits. All shit, all poop, all evil is the fertilizer of a new flowering, of a new fruit, in the same way that someone abused defends the defenseless through organizations and justice. Or on a large scale, how fascism have been a fertilizer for freedom of expression and advancement in human rights. Me. The key then is to see everything negative in our lives as fertilizer for our flowering. I am, and not close to pain. To block yourself from beliefs and prejudices because it will take you to the same destination. To not be absorbed by the cosmos, and to return as compost again. The reincarnation cycle is precisely the fact that the compost becomes a plant, a flower, fruit, and is eaten again by the process of a new life. Being born on the mother's lips, isn't it nice to see this cycle this way? Me, in a way I feel free to understand it, since from the biology I saw dying as liberation, not as a continuum. Understanding the continuum of the universe makes sense that things are not separate. It gives a logical and useful purpose to what we call good and bad. I am. So if you are ready to face it, take the notebook and write down all the traumas that you remember from your life. These have clung to your body and are part of you, like the scars of those wounds that you have or have caused. There are hundreds of ways to be traumatized, mentally, emotionally, or physically. And most try to be hidden in the unconscious, or even worse, in the ocean of the subconscious. Write down your traumas. Do not deny them. They are part of who you are today, of your search, your path, and your process. Only by knowing what they are and where they come from will you be able to understand what they have awakened in you. Know if your path is to be nutrient or poop. That difference depends on how open or closed you are in the process. Therefore, it does not matter if you are a good or a bad person. Me, my traumas defined what I have learned in life. This is why I must accept them as part of the mistakes and falls that made me get up. I am. Every wound makes us. Every wound makes you stronger. Every poop is the fertilizer of your flower. The question you must ask yourself is whether you are willing to flourish. Me. Yes, I am. I am. Then accept the fertilizer of each of your traumas. Be grateful for what you have become for them. Observe the prejudice and release it. Release it so that you can absorb the essentials of this fertilizer, and thus you can expand towards the light, opening your beautiful and beautiful flower, which will bear fruit to nurture a new world, a new life.